Well, it's still winter, it's still freezing. Welcome to Wankel Wednesday. Hello YouTubes. I don't have a huge amount of updates for the low-cost project this week. Been kind of busy, what with selling the truck, finally. So big red truck should be leaving us either tonight or tomorrow. So that's good. I'll get some space back in the driveway and some money in the bank. So what are we doing today? As I say, not a lot, so this will be fairly brief. I'll give you an update what's happened this week so far. On the last video I was asking for help to identify all these mystery pipes and hoses and anything with a little white bit of tape. I wasn't sure, so I've thanks to you guys, I've figured out where most of them go, and most of them I can block off. Obviously there's big things like the oil pipes. That is the oil going in from the oil cooler, goes into the pump, goes around the engine, and it comes back out here and into the other side of the oil cooler. Okay, so I can't block them off, obviously, but for now, just to see if this fires up, I could probably just run a pipe from the out to the in. Make sure there's oil in it, obviously. I also noticed that these spark plugs are fitted. They are different from the leading and trailing plugs. You'd see a little red dot and a little white dot, which is nice. Makes them easy to identify. I've been back and forward with this one. So apparently this is still a water temperature. That's the oil pressure. That's water temperature. That's water coming out. That goes to the heater core apparently. So I don't need that, so I can block that off. It's not going to affect the circulation of the water. And the other side of that, I was confused because I thought it would go back into the engine, but no, when that goes through the heater core, it comes out a hose and goes all the way to the water pump. It doesn't go back into the engine. One's at the back. Fairly sure that this one here is actually for the brake booster that I don't have, so I can block that one off for now. Just take this hose off and block it there. There's another pipe down there, if you remember. Still not absolutely sure about that. I'm still trying to figure out where the water goes after it comes out of the turbo, which is this pipe here, comes out the turbo and it goes into the lower intake manifold. After that, I don't know where it goes. And obviously, if it just stops there, then it's not really circulating through the turbo. So I really have to figure that one out. Okay, other stuff. I ordered up a alternator belt from Amazon. It was meant to be exactly for this engine and it was way too long. So I'll be taking that back. And then I went to Canadian Tire because it was suggested, well, I was told the length of the belt was 29.5 inches. So I got the exact belt and it was like 3 inches too short. So very frustrating. However, I do have a box of belts behind that door into the back, into a cupboard. So I need to move all that. So let me do that and I'll get my big box of belts. There we go. Let's see if any of them fit. I've had this box of belts for at least 20 years and I very rarely actually get one that works. But you know what it's like. As soon as you throw them out, you'll need them. Right, let's try. Obviously it's a V-belt, so I can discard all the ribbed ones. Right, what have we got? Try one at a time. Right, does that one fit? Not bad actually. Nope. Next. This one seems a bit fat. Nope. That's definitely not going to fit. It's way too long. Ribbed. Ribbed. Supercharger? I don't know what that's from. Ribbed. 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 Oh. Well, this one looks good. Nope. Oh, goodness sake. I don't know why I'm putting it there like it's even a possibility. Ribbed. Nope. Ribbed. Why have you got so many ribbed belts? My goodness. Like tons of them. Ribbed. Oh, had some mice action in here. Oh, there's a nice wee back line. Might be able to use that. We're ribbed. And we're done. I'd find a nice little dump valve though. Might be able to use that. Oh, it's stiff. Another little vac line. I can't believe I don't have a belt. This is why I've had this box for 20 years. Never find anything that fits. Now I guess I need to go back to Canadian Tire. I'll do that another day. Okay folks, I've finally found a diagram for the coolant flow chart. Now this is for an FD, but I think the principle's the same. So there's a pipe coming out, this one here, right, which is the one that I'll show you in a second. Actually, I'll show you right now. That one down there, okay, is the water coming out of the end plate, whatever it's called, and it goes into the throttle body, comes out the throttle body, and then goes along and goes into the water pump, which I do believe is the other unidentified pipe, which sticks out. Oh goodness, can you see that one there? So for now, if I just want to get this thing running, I can block that one off and block the one sticking up off, and just avoid it going through the throttle body for now. That is excellent. I'm really pleased I found that. So in case anyone's wondering where I found that diagram, big fat FD cooling RX7 club. So if anyone's watching, thanks very much for posting that picture up. That helps a lot. Right, let me block them off and a few other things. Right, I think we're a bit closer to success. So just to go over what I've just done there. So that pipe coming up from the furthest to the back of the engine, which is supposed to go to the throttle body. So it would come up and go into this pipe here. And then once it's done its thing, it goes down to the bottom of the throttle body, comes out there, and presumably tucks underneath the throttle body, which obviously is going to be over here. It would go along, round, and into that pipe there. So that's blocked off for now. That one's blocked off for now. Hopefully that is correct. Right, what else have I blocked off? On this side of the engine, I have blocked off the pipe going to the heater core. I didn't have a cap, so I just had to make a bit of pipe, plugged it with a bit of steel. It was actually a big fat bolt, but it wasn't threaded at this section, so it's cut there, rammed in there, tight there, so that's good. While we're on this side then, still got a mystery pipe coming out of the oil filler. Now, I think this might be a sort of overflow pressure release thing. I think this bit isn't pressurized, right? So I don't think I need a clip around there, but I have a feeling that that would actually come from down here. There's a little pipe sticking out that I've obviously capped for now, and that could be a sort of a blowback for oil, which would come out of there and go around here and then distribute the oil back into this system, possibly. So that is possibly quite important, but for now it's blocked off. But this is really just for my record so that I know that I've blocked this off, but it might go to there. If anyone knows, leave a comment. On the other side then, on top of the upper intake manifold, we have this contraption, which I believe is like auto choke. I think it brings hot water in here, it tells it the temperature, the water escapes back that way, and it affects the idle somehow. There is I think this is an air pipe at the bottom, which kind of lines up with this pipe here, if this is where this even sits. But this is boosted pressure coming up, so boosted pressure would go in there and in there. So I need to do a wee bit more research, but for now, since I don't know where the water's supposed to come from in and out for this section, I'm just going to cap them off, cap this off, put a clip round there just for now. I still need to find where this goes. I might just put I think just put a dump valve on that or cap it off. I'd rather not cap it off if it is a sort of dump valve type recirc, whatever it is. If there's too much pressure, it comes out there and should go vent to atmosphere. In here we have this little vac line of the fuel pressure regulator, and it kind of points that way, but this swivels so it could go anywhere. I don't know where that's supposed to go, but I did notice there's a little vac line under here on the throttle body, but I've got a feeling that that one goes to the intake manifold somewhere. There's plenty of little spare pipes coming out of the intake manifold, and I think this one also goes to the intake manifold, but more research is required. So I think I've capped off everything I can for now. I've got another bit of pipe that just arrived. I'll show you in a minute, well, a few minutes. But before I put this back on, I do need to drill out this little bolt that's snapped inside the throttle body. Give me a second. I'm all fingers and fingers. Right, so this here. And focus. That's obviously snapped in there. That's going to be tricky to get out, but that's where my throttle position sensor lives on this, so I need to get that out. So let me get that dealt with, and then I'll what's the opposite of dismantle? Remantle? Yeah, I'll remantle everything and let you see that part that just arrived today. Upper intake manifold is back on, so just got the intercooler to go on, but the bit of pipe I was talking about goes from here up, does a sort of L shape up to the intercooler, and it looks like this, and hopefully that will fit. So let me slap all that together. Just like that. Now I'm going to have to trim this back about 1 inch because obviously it's forcing the whole thing out. It should be around there. So I need to trim about 1 inch off of there just to bring the whole thing a bit closer. But it fits over the pipes nice and snug, 2-inch pipe, top and bottom. And I do have a couple of nice clamps to go around them. But for now, that's about it. Although I still need to make a bit of pipe to go from the oil, oil out to the oil in. I've got the pipe somewhere, I just don't know if it's going to fit, and I cannot block them off, so I need to sort that. But we are getting a bit closer to a start. Really need to look into the electricals next. Oh, I still need to repair this. That should have a little pipe coming out for the expansion tank. So if I can't find a new section of this, then I'll need to smooth that down, get a bit of pipe from the inside, epoxy it on or something. I'd rather just find a new part. I also need a cap, obviously. But I think we're nearly there. Oh, I think I solved another mystery. Follow me. Do you remember that water coolant pipe coming out the turbo that I'm really worried about? I found another coolant diagram, coolant flow diagram, and basically it does go in there to the lower intake manifold. It goes through to the other side after doing whatever. I don't know why it even goes in there, probably something to do with all this stuff I've removed. Anyway, it goes out the other side of the intake, lower intake manifold, and actually goes into the back rotor housing, and then joins up with all its water cooling buddies, and then heads that way to the engine and back into the water pump. So we are solved, which is good because that was worrying me. Right, I've got some pipe repair work to do, pipe adjustment to do. I need to go to Canadian Tire and get another alternator belt. I'll probably get 3 of different sizes. They're quite good for, if you don't use it, you can take it back, get your full refund. So there's no harm in taking 2 or 3 belts. So thank you all for your comments and all your help. I really appreciate that. And hopefully I'll get a bit more done in the next week. The weather really sucks at the moment. I'll show you before you go, but spring's just around the corner, they say. Take care, see you soon, bye.